Holly hanging across the door, neighbors singing tales of yore. It's so close, hardly can wait, waking up on Christmas.
I have just finished wrapping the presents and there is such a huge mess. We've just sent Mignon around, so the floor is at least vacuumed, but I'm going to do a speed clean. Vaughn's also put the dishes on, but there's a lot of dry stuff that I think can also, if it's packed away, then it'll feel a little less messy. And there's boxes, oh, you can't quite see them, but there's boxes that need to be unpacked and a load of washing needs to go on. So before Christmas Day, I'm going to tackle that. Absolutely love this little quill here. I think it is the cutest thing. I just wish that my whole fringe would do that. I've got it up now because it was getting in my face.
If the Mona Lisa canvas ripped, I wouldn't care, 'cause I could picture you. If the Tower of Pisa finally tipped, well then you'd know how hard I fell for you. If the world stopped turning tomorrow, if it all fell into the sea, I'd let it sink to the bottom, 'cause I only care about one thing, you know. None of it matters as much as you matter to me. Ooh, if the Big Ben Tower ceased to ring, it's okay, 'cause I could sing for you. If every flower went extinct, my heart would still be blossoming for you.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but we didn't finish watching Elf. We'll have to watch it in the morning because I got too tired and my eyes got super itchy, and I was initially making my nighttime cup of tea and then remembered I left this for myself, which is wonderful because it was so clean earlier, and now I've made a massive mess. But it was really good dinner. It was creamy pesto pasta with the pesto that I got the other day at La Bottega, and it's the first time I've made it, fresh mars in it. Absolutely smashed it, I think. Just next time I'm going to do less cream, more pesto, and I will potentially film it. I didn't want to film it this time because I had no idea what I was doing and I didn't want any extra pressure. So I'm going to pack that away quick, get ready for bed. It's not going to be that warm tomorrow. It's going to be 19, I think, which is strange. Normally Christmas is one of the hottest days. And it's the first Christmas we're at a house with a swimming pool in a very long time. And it might be a bit too cold to swim. But I might do it anyway, because it's a nice, like, Christmas Day thing. But the next time I speak to you, it will be Christmas. Good night.
Santa, I've been good this year. Make your list and check it twice. I'll leave you a note right here underneath the Christmas lights. Carols and bells, none of them help. I still feel blue.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. final Vlogmas day 25. Vaughn tried to sneak out and his phone fell out of his pocket. Look at my ears. I've been waiting for so long, since November 17th to be exact, to wear these. So today is a very exciting day. Vaughn,
Yeah.
can you just skip to that part where it says Merry Christmas
On what?
and that thing, but don't play the other part out loud.
What other part?
Okay, wait, I'll come back. So a friend of mine sent a voice note back from my Christmas wish, and listen to this. That's exactly how I feel today. Merry Christmas! From Vaughn, I got a 3D puzzle. Nice. Going down the stairs. Neither of us have taken tablets. Don't know if you can tell. I got a 3D puzzle, which is a little... Is it a house? Did you buy a house?
It's a little miniature house that you build, and it's even got a little light that turns on.
Okay, but it's a studio. It's like an
It's
apartment.
like a Soho studio.
Soho studio.
With a little desk with a chair and...
I can't wait. I watched Mia Maples build her miniature house, do a miniature house makeover. And I don't know if you remember the other day I said I feel like doing a puzzle, which I never do. Oh my gosh, I literally have ants in my... Not literally, but I actually cannot stand still.
filling up a water bottle just so everyone knows.
He's having a wee.
What about
What was I saying?
Mia
Oh,
Maples?
I was watching Mia Maples do a renovation video of a dollhouse, and then I was like, oh, I want to do this. I love all the miniature stuff. It's so cute. And then I felt like doing a puzzle, and I don't like doing puzzles, so that was weird. And then I was watching Zoe Sugg, obviously because it's Vlogmas, and Mark Ferris and her went to the garden center and they saw these things, and then I googled it and we get it here. So that was what I asked for Christmas. Anyway, now I am going to wrap my mum's umbrella and get myself ready, getting fetched at 11, which is in 2 hours from now. And I need to wrap that as well. And I think that's pretty much it for this morning. Merry Christmas! The day that you see this, it will be the Christmas vlog. So, because Christmas Day... Honestly, this place is so quiet. And then, like, I sit down to film and there's a motorbike. Christmas will be mostly a family day and there's kids there, so I'm not going to be recording. So I thought I would do a Q&A because I don't have many subscribers, like still under 200. But I've had an influx since I started Vlogmas. So, let me move a bit closer. Oopsie. So that I don't have to talk so quietly. Okay. First thing, I don't have social media. I have YouTube and I browse on TikTok, but I don't really post ever. I don't have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I deleted all of them. I actually just recently deleted Reddit off my phone because it was becoming too much of a distraction, and also I followed a lot of like morbid threads, so I just decided it was the day that I was having the, I don't want to say breakdown, but when I was like, I'm not okay, I'm burnt out, I just decided like, get rid of it. Okay, so I just grabbed some random questions from Q&A tags on YouTube, and the first question that I got was, well, the first question I want to answer is from that vlog I was just talking about. Someone asked, are you okay now? Yes, I think it was just a moment. I think I needed some space, some quiet time, some nature. I also had a moment the other day where I was like, oh, did I take my antidepressants? And I couldn't remember if I had missed some of them. And the thing with the ones I take is like, I don't feel like I need them on the day to day, but if I stop them, then like within 3 days time, I will really struggle. And a lot of it's very physical for me. Like I get very, very tired. I can't sleep at night. When I do fall asleep, I can't stop sleeping. I can sometimes feel, now that I'm on them, I can be a bit more weepy than normal. And I can just feel like physically, I can feel that it's not right. This is actually hilarious. Okay, now to the tag. I wrote them down because of the internet saga. So these are just random ones I grabbed that I thought would be fun to answer. The first one is, what is your weirdest food mix? And I actually nearly put this on the vlog the other day, but someone was in the house, I can't remember, at the old house, and I didn't want to record them. I think it's a roll, like a bun with chips on. Chips to us are crisps, so like Lay's on a roll. That's something we ate so much as kids, and I still love it now. And some people think it's so strange. Obviously, as well, you can put like chips like fries, but like thick ones. You can also put those on a roll, and that's strange in some places, but here that's like completely normal. The most underrated snack: coconut marshmallows. Very underrated. Absolutely love them. Most overrated snack, I'm gonna have to say like things and hummus. You can like it, good for you. I don't mind it, but I'm never gonna buy like celery to dip in hummus. It's just never gonna happen. Who was your first celeb crush? That is a good question. I wanna say Freddie Prinze Jr. or there was another guy, he played Casper, the real life Casper, and his name was like JTT or something. I've gone blank. I literally wrote this question down. How can I not know the answer? Overrated series. Too Hot to Handle. I don't enjoy it. And the season before, or is it the one that's currently out, I have a feeling one of the guys is on the spectrum, and obviously I can't diagnose, but I looked it up to see if other people felt the same, and there are quite a few people who do. And I just think that like the way he gets treated on the show and the way that everyone is towards him, it just makes me so uncomfortable because it doesn't feel accommodating. It feels like he's being bullied and misunderstood. And I don't want to use the word bully like just throw it around, but genuinely I couldn't watch it because I really didn't like how everyone was towards him. So I don't watch it anymore. I think it's super overrated. I think maybe the first time when they didn't know what show it was quite cool, but then the second one, and basically all they did was take Love Island and ban the other side, the stuff you wouldn't want to do on camera. That's basically what they did. And the most underrated series, Working Moms. I don't know why that's the first one that came to mind, but I love that. Then Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23. I think that series should never have been cancelled. It is so funny. I actually think it's on Disney Plus, so you can go check it out if you haven't watched it before. It's really good. And then Drunk, I'll find it. One of the days I'll talk about why I don't drink anymore, and then I'll talk about that series as well. Favorite podcast? At the moment I'm listening to a lot of Dateline. The only thing about the podcast version is that they just take the video and they rip it. So sometimes they're like saying like, here is this, and you can't see what it is. But I enjoy that. I enjoy Fern Cotton's Happy Place. I like Diary of a CEO because I like the way that Stephen Bartlett interviews people. I think from a journalistic perspective, I appreciate the space he gives people to answer, and I very much appreciate his tone and the way people feel very comfortable. But I don't always feel like listening to thinky things. Oh, another one I forgot. Double Cleanse podcast, Welsh Twins. Also, most underrated YouTube channel is the Welsh Twins. If you don't watch them yet, watch them. Robert has a makeup, James has skincare, and then they have the combined channel, and they are so funny. It is unbelievable. My day job. What is your day job? So I guess my title is like content lead. I write crime scripts for a YouTube channel and also for a history channel. I do the developmental editing. I sometimes do developmental editing on novels, which essentially just means like if you write a novel and in the first chapter you say the character hates carrots. This is a very basic example. And then in the 5th chapter you say she took a bite of a carrot. Then I'll be like, you've forgotten who your character is. So that's developmental editing. And then I do voiceovers for audiobooks. And I work in radio, which you would have seen the other day. But that's more of like a part-time, it's a hobby, essentially. I will also, at some point, do like a story time on radio. Next question is, which book should never have been made into a movie? I feel strongly about this. My Sister's Keeper by Jodi Picoult. I always say Picoult, but I know it's Picoult. So, this is a little bit of a story time actually. When I was younger, I must have been working in retail, so 21, 22. She actually came for a book signing at the mall that I worked at, and she spoke about the movie at that book signing and said, I'm just recalling from memory, this is not pure fact or anything. Of course, the journalist in me wants to say that. So she basically said that initially she worked with them on the movie, but she didn't agree with the ending change and they went ahead with it anyway. And that book is probably one of the books that I aspire to write like, because the ending is so... I actually remember, this is what I want people to feel when they read the books that I eventually publish. When I read the last page, as naughty as it is, I was reading in class and I closed the book and I hardly ever cry, and I just cried like non-stop. And the teacher was obviously confused because why did I just start crying? And the whole day, all I could think about was the end of that book. I mean, I could tell you exactly minute for minute what happened now, and that was when I was in school. I left school in 2008, so it was before that. It is one of the best book endings ever. So I was really bummed when the movie did not match up to that, and I think they did it a massive injustice. And it was such a well-written story that it didn't have to be adapted. The second part to that is which book did it well. And I enjoy young adult novels. Loved Jennifer Nevin, All the Right Places. That book, when I finished it, I immediately grabbed a notebook and a pen and I wrote the first chapter of my novel, which is currently in stage 2.5, I think. So now I've got someone working as a developmental editor on it, then I'll go back and write it. Anyway, the point was, the movie, although a lot had to be left out so that it wasn't like a 5-hour movie, I think they did it so well. And I think that the characters they cast, although did not fit the description of the book, which can sometimes be upsetting, they still did the characters justice in their own almost separate to the book kind of way. So Finch is a little bit more like muted than the book. I don't want to give anything away, but he's like, there's not as much of a backstory, but you still get as attached to him, which I think is so amazing for a movie versus book, because obviously in the book you have time to walk the reader through everything that's happening in their lives, and yeah, watch it. It's on Netflix. Or read the book first, then watch it. Either way, both are going to be amazing, but the book is going to flesh out the characters more for you. Oh, this is a question from one of my first Vlogmas days. When did you get diagnosed with ADHD? So I'll do a full story time on my diagnosis, but basically I am diagnosed ADHD, OCD, I have anxiety, and I have depression. ADHD I have, as far as I know, inattentive, though sometimes I can show signs of hyperactive. I was only diagnosed at 30, so it was very late. And I was watching Tara Michelle the other day, and one of the questions she got was, why do you never talk about your ADHD? And she said she doesn't want it to become a part of her identity. And I was thinking like, oh my gosh, I literally speak about it every single day in these vlogs, and it's going to become one of those things where it's like, oh, my ADHD, my ADHD. But I think the reason why I talk about it and I kind of say like what it does in my life is because, first of all, women with ADHD, like there's so few of us that speak out on YouTube. And if you do know anyone, please comment. I would love to watch their vlogs. And second of all, because I was only diagnosed 2 years ago, there are so many things that I thought I was doing wrong, or like I didn't realize that it wasn't a me problem, it was my ADHD. So it was like really refreshing to have the diagnosis and go, oh my gosh, this explains so much. And then to take that and go, okay, well, then there's no point in me forcing all the things that normal people don't seem to struggle with, that I can just never get right, and looking at it from a different perspective and being like, well, I have ADHD, so I'm not going to have a sparkling house every single day. I'm not going to follow perfect routines. I am probably going to be super talkative when I need to be quiet. I'm probably going to interrupt a lot. Like those things, like just instead of making it my whole identity, I am also just like excited about it in a way, I suppose. But I don't want to go on about it too much now. I want to do a separate video about that, so that if you don't have ADHD or you don't care, you don't have to watch it. The next question's so basic, but I'm gonna answer it anyway. Do you like pineapple on pizza? Hell yes, Hawaiian pizzas are my favorite. I think that the whole thing about pineapple on pizza is just like one of those internet things that like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If I want to have pineapple, leave me to have pineapple. If I go to an authentic Italian restaurant, I'm not going to order it. I'm going to have a margarita because that is what you should have. But if someone else orders it, I'm not going to care. Honestly, put pineapple on your pizza, put banana, do whatever you want. Whatever makes you happy, just do it. Who do you ask for advice? So, let me have a sip of coffee first, and then I'll answer this. Who do you ask for advice? Right. This is a strange question to answer because one of the main fights that Vaughn and I had in the beginning was I wasn't asking for advice when I spoke to him about something. I was just venting, and he would feel the need to give advice. And so I learned to say, I'm just venting, or what do you think of? But I guess the basic answer is my therapist. If you're not in therapy and you're considering it, definitely think you should do it. I'll speak about that in the ADHD video as well, because my therapist is like one of my absolute pillars in life. I honestly owe her my life multiple times. So my therapist is the main one I ask for advice. And second, I would say I am so lucky to have a support system. I've got my sister-in-law, who you'll see commenting quite often on my videos. Love you, cat. I speak to her a lot. I've got really good friends. I have a small friend group, but there are friends that I could literally not speak to for years and years and years, and call up at 3 a.m. and be like, I'm not okay, what should I do? And I will also turn to them sometimes, but again, like, often I prefer to just vent to people and then get advice from my psychologist, only because I like, when I ask her something, I want to understand why. So just a basic example, but slipping up on my routines. I know I need routine. I struggle without it, but then I don't stick to it. I want to know like what's going on in my brain at that point that stops me from doing it. So when she gives me the advice, I want to know like the science behind it. I actually was going to study psychology at one stage, and I just never enrolled. I did do a CBT course though, so I am qualified as a CBT therapist. I say therapist because it's not a medical thing. How did you and Vaughn meet? I think Vaughn and I should do a Q&A as well. I have so many things to talk about. I'm so excited to have this channel because I just want to talk all the time. Hence the job in radio. We met on Tinder, and I will go into the details when I can get him to sit down and we can do a chat together. But yes, we met on Tinder, and it was a Tinder glitch, and I'm going to leave it at that. Last question. Would you change anything about your life? I am going to say no, because I believe everything happens for a reason, as woo-woo as it sounds, and if I hadn't made the mistakes and messed up along the way and had the terrible things, then I probably wouldn't be as relatively stable as I am now. The only thing I might have changed is pretty superficial, and that is I started working when I was 15, and I wish I'd saved more, and then I wish as an older adult, well, early 20s into late 20s, I wish that I had stayed away from debt. I think if I could have changed the way I looked at finances, then that would be pretty cool. But also, back to the ADHD, I found out once I was diagnosed that it's quite a common problem for women with ADHD to struggle because of the impulse control, which makes so much sense, because I am not the kind of person who can see something and go, I'm going to think about that and I'm going to budget for that. Prime example, I want a couch. We have a chair there. It works. We can sit on it. It's fine. But all I want is a couch now. I don't want to budget for it. I don't want to wait for it. I don't want to wish list it. I don't even want to go into the shop and sit on it. I want a couch now. I want to order it now. Here's the problem. If you don't have the money, then credit. And credit is like invisible money. So for someone with impulse control problems, it's a bad mix. Also, I don't want to say impulse control problems. I want to say impulse control. I can't think of a word, but I want something more positive than that. Someone who can feel impulsive. Yes, that's it. Someone who can feel impulsive. Because it's not always a problem. My impulsivity got me into a lot of cool things, and radio was one of them. So I don't want to say it's a problem. Anyway, this has landed up being a long Q&A. If you have any questions, comment below. If you would like me to do story times about any of the things I've mentioned, comment below. And we're gonna go back to Christmas. Well, we're gonna go forward to Christmas now.
Holly hanging across the door, neighbors singing tales of yore. It's so close, hardly can wait. Waking up on Christmas, children dreaming without a care. 'Tis the season most everywhere.